these are 8 quilt tops that I have pieced this month, January 2024. My goal this year was to use up all my scraps. I put a small dent in it, but it doesn't look like I've used anything after I made these 8 quilts. I did have to buy a couple of yards of one fabric because I just couldn't put the quilt together without it. So I'm going to show you pictures of these 8 quilts, this little trunk show. There will be links in the description below the video for you to download instructions either for the block or for the quilt. And there's always a free pattern if there's one available. But you'll be able to do any of these quilts if you want. Most of these I've hung on the design wall curtain behind me, and it is a curtain so it's not flat against the wall, and you'll see some creases in some of these quilt tops because they've been folded for a little while. But just look at the design of the quilt and the fabrics, and I hope you get some inspiration from that too. Let's get started with the trunk show. First up, we have Delectable Mountains. This quilt is made from layer cakes, or 10-inch squares, and finishes at 60 inches by 81 inches. The block is part of the Block of the Day 2023. Click the link below to see the quilt video and download instructions for this quilt. Next we have the Sampler Quilt. This quilt finishes at 60 inches by 78 inches. The large center block and the 12 blocks around it are all part of the Block of the Day 2023. I added friendship star blocks to the top and bottom to make the quilt a rectangle, then added a 3-inch border of streamers to frame it. Both of these blocks and this quilt have free downloadable instructions. Rail Fence Ripple is a pattern you can download from the designer. My version is made with 6-inch finished blocks, and the quilt finishes at 60 by 72. In my instructions, you'll see how to make 4 different block sizes. You'll also learn how to use my quilting apps to find out how many blocks you need for a quilt of any size. From that, you can determine how much fabric you need. This version of the pineapple block is made using the AccuQuilt pineapple die. These blocks are 10-inch finished, and the quilt is 60 by 72. These are all scrap fabrics. If you have AccuQuilt, you'll learn tips for using your dies, cutting fabrics, and organizing your project. If you don't have AccuQuilt, the next video I release in a few days will show you how to make the pineapple block using paper piecing or by using the pineapple trim tool. If you want to be notified when this is released, subscribe to my channel and click the bell. This quilt is called Flapjacks. It's a free download from the Fat Quarter shop. The block is number 1201 for December 1st of Block of the Day 2023 series of videos. This version is made using patriotic fabrics, and once quilted and finished, it will go to a local veteran. Color Bands is block 1218 for December 18th of the Block of the Day 2023 video series. I had a large amount of 2.5-inch strips of Bella Solids by Moda. The strips are subcut into 12.5 inches and 4.5-inch segments. The quilt finishes at 60 by 84. There's a pattern you can download. The Fat Quarter Cubes pattern is free from the Fat Quarter shop, finishes at 66 by 87 inches. It's made from 18 fat quarters plus 2 yards of sashing fabric. The sashing fabric for this quilt is the only fabric I had to purchase. The collection is Creativity Roars by Moda. This block is 1227 for December 27th of Block of the Day 2023 video series. I like the fat quarter cubes pattern so much, I made a patriotic version. For this version, I used a narrower sashing, so the quilt finishes 64 by 84. I no longer have a quilting machine, so these quilt tops will be given to the Friendship Guild of Brenham to be quilted and finished and given to veterans and others in our area. Well, that's it for this month. If you enjoy these videos, please share them with your friends, and thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and while you're at it, click the bell to be notified of future videos.